Adam Lerner, and welcome to this week's Friday Flickr Photo Critique, number 16, and the last Friday Flickr Photo Critique of 2011. This week we have a photo set by a young guy named Nermin. Not exactly where he hails from. However, there are some shots. I'm seeing this first shot is here from Jacksonville, Florida, so maybe he's a Floridian. Anyway, what really struck me about this is that Nermin had originally sent me a set, and even in that first set, when he sent me the second set, he said, you know, I sent you a set a while ago, and it was kind of all over the place. And I really kind of honed my photography and honed my vision, and I put this set together, you know, based on more of a cohesive group. And you know, I really see that, and I think this grouping of photos is very solid. It has a nice vision, a nice look, and the fact that Nermin is shooting with film, you know, I have a little bit of a personal bias. I like the way film looks, so let's get right into it. So this image is called Moment of Calm. It appears to be a candid shot on the beach, maybe, you know, late afternoon or so. We've got some long shadows, got some really nice trails coming in from the light trails in the sky over here, beautiful reflections. It's just one of those really nice images. I mean, and nice, I don't mean like in a vague way. I mean, it's really pleasing. You know, the tones are really nice. The framing is really nice. I like the way the couple is, you know, in the lower left of the frame. I like the way that, you know, we've got the law of thirds going on here. You know, sometimes these shots happen, you know, without a lot of that kind of like compositional thinking going on, but sometimes, you know, in this case, photographers just see it that way, and that's how they shoot it. You know, even these little seagulls are really cool. It's a really nice, pleasing shot, and this was actually shot with, you know, a little actual point and shoot film camera and Fuji 400 film. Very nice. Okay, so the next shot that we have here, this is called A Glimpse into the Present, and let's just take a look at what's going on with this one. This was also shot with a Yashica Electro. Now, that is a, you know, I guess it was kind of like a small, I think it was a rangefinder actually, camera that had a 45 millimeter f1.7 lens or something like that. Anyway, you got some really nice stuff going on here. You know, we're again with the Fuji Superia 400. And the Superia is really interesting. It has really like muted tones. It's got some nice grain to it. It definitely has a certain quality. I've shot this Fuji Superia and I really like it. It doesn't have the the really super vivid and realistic look, let's say, of Portra. But the Superia has its own look, which is super cool. And what's great about this is the sky taking on all these kind of late afternoon colors. You know, we've got this solitary person just standing there. We've got this nice reflection of the pier. Compositionally, you know, this one is really, really super great. I love what's going on with the waves and the clouds, and it's just, you know what, it's just another one of these really super nice photos, and the fact that it's shot with film, it just has that extra special quality. So it was a really nice work right here. Okay, so let us move on. This next shot is called Velo Shades. This was shot with a Yashica FX3 and a 70-200 lens with expired 400 black and white Kodak film. Now, there's something really special about this. The fact that this bicycle is completely blurred out of the focus, because obviously the rear, you know, the buildings were in the focus. The framing, let's just say this, the framing on this image really works. You know, interestingly, it would be, you know, if the bicycle were the focus of the subject and the buildings were out of focus, it would take on a completely different quality. But there's something nice about this kind of ghosted juxtaposition of this bicycle kind of looming over these buildings, you know, these nice round organic shapes against the really kind of square angular shapes. I like it. I don't know why, and sometimes you don't even need to know why. You just look at something and you like it. This was in Jacksonville, Florida, so I'm thinking that Nermin's a Floridian. All right, let's move on. This next shot here, and let me just, I'm actually forwarding to the shots on my other screen here just so I can get some of the info that he's been posting. And I will post Nermin's or Flickr stream link so that you guys on your own can go and look at all these individual images and see what they were shot with and how they were shot. So this was shot apparently with a Yashica FX3 Super 2000. I'm not exactly sure what that is, if it's a point and shoot or if it's an actual, no, it's an SLR, excuse me. Fully manual, 35 millimeter. This one is thick, man. There is some serious thick contrast going on. I mean, you know, I tend to prefer the more silvery tones of black and white. You know, this, you know, is really, really punchy. I mean, that sky, it's almost like infrared, you know, with how dramatic the tones are here. The only thing for this, for me, for this one is that I don't really feel like there's, I don't really like the framing so much, you know. It's just, this post is like really in the center. It's completely silhouetted over here. I think that there's another few ways that this could have been shot, and maybe had he just maybe walked around this scene, I don't know. It just, to me, it's not as impactful as some of the others. So let's move on. All right. So we have a shot called Occupy Jacksonville. And, you know, I think that a lot of photographers have been going out of their way to cover the Occupy, you know, events that have been happening around the United States. And I think that that's super cool. I mean, you know, photojournalism, it's a great way to, you know, to be able to get your work out there, and also to be able to put a certain kind of time period on your work. And I think that this image is really nice. I like the fact that you've got, like, you know, some kind of exchange going on here. You got some people that are kind of reacting to something. You've got the signs obviously here that, you know, give you some sense of what's going on. I feel like, you know, there's definitely a vision going on here. I feel like maybe he was standing a little bit far from the action and potentially could have gotten a little bit closer to what was going on. Maybe something a little bit more gritty. Maybe even tried to do a portrait. But again, you know, just as far as capturing the moment and capturing this moment in time, you know, documenting it, I think it's pretty cool. Yashica Electro 35 GSN, which is, again, that little rangefinder with Ilford HP5 Plus black and white film. All right, so let us continue to move along. And this one is called Snoop Cat. I don't know if that's the name of this dog. You know, this was shot with a Yashica FX3, which is an SLR, with Kodak Ultramax 200 film. You know, nice tones here. Cute dog. Not my favorite angle for a dog. I typically like to see dogs more head-on, particularly with this girl in the frame. This to me is like one of those, like, shot from the hip, maybe candid type of shots. I think that it's close, but it's not quite there. But I still find, you know, the tones really pleasing, and I think obviously the dog is super cute. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning of the set because I think I started somewhat in the middle, and I'm going to do that over here. And this very first shot in the set is called Play Me Piano. And I know that some cities around the U.S. kind of adopted that art project that happened in London, where pianos were kind of left around in public spaces for people to just kind of play and enjoy. I'm wondering if this is one of those occasions where, you know, the piano was just left for people in a public space to enjoy. I'm trying to see where this was taken. Hard to say right now, but again, this was taken with that Yashica 35 GSN, which is that little rangefinder camera. It's, you know, it goes all the way down to 1.7, you know, f1.7, so you get, like, you know, serious selective focus and some bokeh. You know, it's kind of cool. Maybe, you know, if it was turned a little bit, if we got a sense of, you know, what it was and where it was. But, you know, it's on the street. We've got the long shadows, time of day. It was shot, you know, with Kodak 400 film, so we got some nice grain, nice color to it. So definitely pretty cool. All right, so let us move on. So here we have the the classic focus, excuse me, title of this shot, and this probably was that piano. Again, I feel like, you know, with the Occupy shot and like this one as well, you know, Nermin could have gotten just a little bit closer to the action. Maybe, you know, got this kid on the piano to actually ham it up for him a little bit. I just feel like there's a lot going on in this frame that's kind of, superfluous to the image, because this isn't really, I don't really need all this stuff here. I would rather, have more of an interaction with the dude on the piano. Again, this shot with a Yashica SLR, film camera, f2 50mm lens, and 400 Kodak film. So nice color rendition over here. Okay, this one is called Just Before the Show, and let's see, this was with the the Yashica SLR and black and white film. That's kind of all the info that he's left here. This one is super grainy. There's a lot of kind of blemishes on the film. I don't know if that had to do with processing. I kind of get what's going on over here. But I feel like that we need a little bit more info. Like, we need to more interact with this guy right here. Maybe he's a roadie. The image is a little bit skewed to the left. Again, I'm not trying to pick on Nermin. I think his photos are really nice. I think they're really cohesive. I really like what he's doing. I'm just kind of offering some ideas about, some things that I would find maybe a little bit more pleasing. But it's still, it's still a cool shot. I like the way the background is completely blown out, but we have a little bit of the building detail there, so it's kind of cool. All right, here we go. We have a shot over here, and this one is called Jellyfish RIP. Shot on the beach. Very pleasing tones. Again, shot with that Yashica. This was with the 70-200, and I'm not sure. Oh, the Fuji Superior. I'm sorry. The Superior 400 film. It's very cool. I mean, at first glance, would you even think this to be a jellyfish? I don't know. I would have maybe liked to see this maybe from a lower angle, maybe shot a little bit further away, particularly with that 70-200. Maybe if he stepped back onto the beach, maybe 30 feet, and he got really low, and he just, was at like the smallest aperture, and he just kind of, got in on that jellyfish right there, and then kind of compressed that background of the beach and the sky. I think that potentially he might have shot down like this because he didn't want to shoot in the sky, so maybe he could have gone over, to the right of it and shot against, the backdrop that didn't have, the sun directly in it. But whatever the case may be, very pleasing shot, nice textures, and leaves a little bit to the imagination, which is cool. And this brings us back to our very first image, which obviously is the middle of his set, Moment of Calm. So, anyway, I want to thank Nermin for sending his set. I also want to thank Nermin for thinking about this and really trying to come up with what he felt was a cohesive set, because I feel like this set is far more cohesive than the original set that he sent. And I think that that's really important for all photographers, to really think about that. And, when you're sending in your quote-unquote 10 best, think about what are my 10 best and why are they my best? Are they the best because I've got my best dog picture, landscape shot of, my girlfriend, whatever. Try to look at this as a whole. Look at your work as a whole. Look and see if there's something cohesive. Are you somebody who gravitates more toward portraits? Do you gravitate more toward street shots? Do you gravitate more toward landscapes? Do you gravitate more toward, wedding shots? Whatever the case may be, and try to put a set together like that. Something that's cohesive. Something that has a cohesive look and feel and potentially subject matter. And I think that Nermin did a great job with this. I think he's really onto something with his film photography. I find it really pleasing. I like that he's experimenting with different cameras, with different lenses, with different film, all really cool stuff. And all this kind of stuff ultimately does influence and inform your digital photography, because it changes your eye. You see, how film emulsion, can be saturated, and how colors can look, and it gives you a sense of, how you can maybe mess with processing and all different kinds of stuff. So really nice work. Again, if any of you guys want to submit your 10 best photos, please send a Flickr set of your 10 best, or a 500 pic set of your 10 best. Email that to adamlernerphoto@gmail.com. Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon.